So this guy, John, thinks he's so slick. John lives in the UK with his wife, Anne. Now, John has his sights on becoming a millionaire. He's a retired teacher and was a correctional officer at a local prison at the time. But my boy was trying to make money moves. He figured he was gonna buy hella properties and make hella money renting them out. So he and Anne bought like 12 properties. The best one, this property, kind of house by the sea, he kept for himself. He rents out all the others, but it turns out after a short period of time, he's actually losing money. So the rent he was collecting was less than the mortgage payment on the properties. Before long, dude ends up in serious debt. I mean, he saw no way out. Then one day, he comes up with a brilliant idea. The bank can't collect mortgage payments from a dead man. So he figures he'll fake his death to get from under this debt. So sometime in March 2002, John sets his plan in motion. So he tells Anne, all right, check it. I'm gonna take my canoe out on the water. I'm gonna paddle out from the shore to where our nosy ass neighbors can see me paddling. Then, when I'm out at sea, I'm gonna damage the canoe to make it look like I got lost out there. I'll come back on the other side of the shore where no one could see me. Just wait for me to hit you and then come scoop me up and take me to the train station and I'll be out. Now, this next part of John's plan was key. So John says, when you get back home, Anne, call the cops and start crying, talking about how I never made it back home. Now, everybody's gonna go out there and start looking for me. Let them do their thing. When all the dust settles, I'll come back, but I'll be wearing a disguise so people won't know it's me. Then, when the death certificate gets issued, we'll be able to file the insurance claim. And we up, baby. Believe it or not, this plan actually works. John even researched the death column of a newspaper and took on the identity of a deceased baby named John Jones. By the way, John and Anne had 2 adult sons at this point who were kept totally in the dark about the whole thing. Super grimy. Sometime later, John and Anne made moves to cash in on the insurance policy and all the benefits, and it all totaled up to over £250,000. After some months, John and Anne realized that even with him in disguise, living in their hometown is just a little bit too risky. So they left Europe and tried settling in Panama. While there, the couple decided to start purchasing properties and set up a real estate company. I guess they figured, shoo, we got the money we got from under all that debt and we made a clean getaway. I mean, they were heading for a fresh start. Tell me why. Before they left the UK, one day at Anne's job, this snitching ass co-worker was listening to Anne talk on the phone. And she must have been listening hard because it sounded like Anne was talking to her husband who was supposed to be dead. So she calls the cops and tells them something's up, just like a true Karen. So the cops were kind of investigating things before they even left the UK. But I'm gonna be real, John and Anne, they kind of messed up when they were in Panama too. Remember when I said they started purchasing properties in Panama? Well, Pinky and the Brain here were taking mad pictures with the realtor. So on the realtor's website, you see dumbass John out here smiling and he's supposed to be dead. Then, to make matters worse, Panama changes their laws and starts requiring foreign investors to have their identities verified by their home countries. Knowing that his John Jones ID wouldn't hold up to the scrutiny, John figured, hey, we might as well pack this up and head back to the UK. Soon as John gets back to England, he turns himself in and he tries to claim that he has amnesia. So he walks in like, hey, I think I might be a missing person. Man, you ain't slick, bruh. Like, mind you, 5 years have passed from the time he faked his death and then reappeared. What's really messed up about this situation is that their kids, those 2 boys, those 2 adult sons, they really believed their daddy was dead. They initially thought that their dad turning up to the police station was a Christmas miracle. Jeez. Unfortunately for John and Anne, nobody bought the amnesia story and they were both arrested. John and Anne were sentenced to 6 years in prison, and they were ordered to pay a 40,000 pound fine. Moral of the story, if you're going to be doing illegal stuff, don't talk about it on the phone at your job.